Greetings. Just want to say hello to each of you. Again, my name is Josh Yates, pastor at Vineyard Church right here in Auburn. And in partnership with Christ Our Redeemer Seminary, wanted to just re-extend an invitation to you to come and be a part of our next Partnership Council meeting, which will be on Thursday, February 12th at noon at the Christ
office,
Our Redeemer Seminary office. Excited to be together. And spend some time really talking about what God is up to in our city and how we as the church here together can join arms and partner in fulfilling the Great Commission.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being a part of this partnership that is CORS. CORS exists as a partnership of the church in Auburn, Opelika. It's not a separate institution with which churches partner. We want it to be a trusted network, nexus of relationships, so that the body of Christ can serve one another in love and build each other up and serve Christ in His mission. So thank you for being a part of this. You've taught classes, you've mentored students, you've given financially, you've let us come share on Sunday mornings with your whole congregation. All that's very much appreciated. I'm going to be sending, along with this video and the email, a brief progress report that gives you some update just since our last meeting, which was in July. To now, we've seen God allow us to make some significant headway on a number of things, both in terms of students, particularly the certificate programs, financial partnership development, accreditation. We reached a major milestone with that. So you can read about that in the letter that I'm going to send you, but we're thankful that the Lord has allowed us to have that kind of progress. As we look forward, there's a couple of things that I want you to imagine together with me. One is that imagine the church in Auburn, Opelika operating more collaboratively for the city, that we are together as the body of Christ, laboring and co-laboring together in the mission of Christ for the sake of the city. And one aspect that I think about this is imagining a congregation setting a set of individual goals, shared goals. That what if, as the body of Christ here, we set some shared goals together and then we pursue those together. Now, leadership development, theological education is one way in which to do that. It's one set of goals that we can come around together and pursue together, and we are doing that. I think we can take some more ground in doing that. But it's been my prayer since the beginning of the seminary is that the Lord would use it as a catalyst to spawn all kinds of collaborative ministry, because I think that unity in the body of Christ as we co-labor in His mission, it matters. It bears witness to the reality of the gospel that reconciles us not only to God, but to one another. It signals to the world that the gospel is true. And so us co-laboring for the sake of the city and beyond for the sake of the nations, it matters. It matters to Christ. It matters to the church. It matters to the world. And so coming around leadership development is one way to do that. The other thing that I want you to be thinking about in terms of vision is how can co-laboring in the area of leadership development become not adjacent to your congregation's mission and vision, but integral, which means that other churches in the city also become integral to your congregation, so that we are integral to one another. In other words, we are every joint and ligament doing its work. Michael O., the CEO, executive director of the Lausanne movement, said the worst words that you can hear in the mission of a church are, or the most destructive to the church's missions are, "I don't need you." And so sometimes I wonder if congregations, we are working in a way, not in our hearts, we're generally for one another, but practically speaking, do we really need one another? And what if we were in a situation where it became very evident to us as pastors and to our congregation that no, we need one another. Leadership development is one way we can take steps forward in that may lead to other forms of collaborative ministry.
Yeah, that's beautiful. One of the things that just as a pastor in town, I know we're all busy. We're caring for people. We're praying. We're following up with people. We're preaching. We're doing all the things. But if I can, I'd love to just ask you to spend a few minutes in the coming weeks in preparation for our meeting, reflecting on a couple of things. And I'd love for us, even at our meeting on February 12th, to share anything that's come out of your reflection and prayer. The first would be, what about this excites you? As you think about the church, beyond just the walls of your church, as you think about the church here in our community in Auburn and Opelika, what about this vision of shared collaborative mission excites you? Because I think if the Spirit of God is inside of you, it ought to excite you a little bit. It excites me. I know that. And I know that's why you're a part of the partnership, is because you want to be a part of this shared collaborative mission as well. And so come ready to share what excites you about that. Maybe along with that, come ready to discuss what are the natural barriers that come up in your mind to your church practically moving towards that. Maybe not just you as the pastor being excited about the seminary and our shared mission, but what are the barriers to your church, the men and women sitting in your pews, to your staffing, to your budget, to your ministry programming? What are the barriers to those things becoming more aligned with a shared collaborative mission? And then finally, one of the things I'd love for us to talk about is just the practical question: what would it look like for all of us to try to pursue over the next 3 to 5 years having 1, 2, 3 residents or new staff or people from our congregation that we are inviting into growth and development theologically through cores and practically in ministry within our body, whether that's as an intern, as a resident, as a staff person, or even just a bigger lay position for people that are eager to get their hands dirty doing the work of ministry. And so again, I know you guys are busy, and I appreciate y'all taking this serious. Would love for y'all to spend a few moments praying and reflecting on those things before we gather here in a few weeks.
Yeah, and you've heard me say this before, but I'm convinced there is so much potential in this community to, double, triple, quadruple the number of well-trained leaders that are sent out from here. And I think whether we see that come to fruition or not depends a lot upon whether or not we can meaningfully, substantially, integrally collaborate. And so I envision the church and the city just sending out dozens and dozens and dozens of well-trained leaders to the city, to the state, to the nation, to the world. And one last question I would like for you to reflect on, in addition to the two Josh asked, is what would need to be true about cores specifically in order to best help you as a congregation as you think about doing what Paul said to Timothy, the things you've learned from me, and trust the faithful men who teach others also. So as you think about multiplying leaders, what must be true about cores in order for you to see this partnership as integral to that part of your church's mission?
Yeah.
So in terms of next steps, I have 3 things I want you to do. 1, I invite you to reflect on these, as Josh has mentioned. 2, please come to our banquet on February 6th. It's not a fundraiser. We always have to say that. It's the time to celebrate what the Lord is doing and talk about what we're trusting the Lord to do in the future. Come yourself, bring your spouse, bring some key leaders in your congregation, bring some folks that might be potential students or might have an interest in a share in what we're doing in the seminary. So February 6th, Friday night, is going to be at Cornerstone Church. We're going to have a great evening together. And then thirdly, please put it on your calendar to come to the partnership meeting on the 12th. So thank you so much for listening, and we appreciate you.